applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope y'all are doing well. As you can see, I am not on my show by myself today. I got somebody making the debut on Dave's Doghouse, my boy Mikey. What's going on, Mikey?
What's going on, Dave? Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, man, thank you for being here. I know you made a request to put somebody in the doghouse. So I said, you know what? You can explain it a lot better than I can. It's a sport that you love, a sport that you introduced me to. So I'm going to let you have the floor. Before we get started, though, man, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I am live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So make sure you like, share, subscribe on all those platforms. I'm also on TikTok, also as Dave's Doghouse, so you can follow me on there as well. And man, I'm just excited about today. I have an honorable mention that I'm gonna mention today as well. I know I haven't done that for a while, but I feel like today is a good day to mention that because somebody who rightfully deserved to be named as a dog, I'm just going to put him as an honorable mention because, I already got the videos already. So I'm not going to start everything over and edit it all over. It takes a lot of time. So shout out to Joe, who always helps me out as well. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to all my subscribers, all the new subscribers coming, all the new members to the R2L channel, all the channels on the R2L network. You got BWT, CTC, Carlton College. I believe Teddy's going to go live Thursday to do the divisions. More than likely, I'll be on with him as well. You got RBO, who should be going live pretty soon, coming up, talking about Eastern Conference playoffs. R2L Show will be live tomorrow, 7 p.m. with me, Joe, and Tomo. So can't wait to talk about that. It's going to be lit this week, man. We got fantasy football with Coach Coombs. We got In the Red Corner, who was live last night, man. All I know is I'm excited for this show. I'm excited to talk more about, what's been going on in season 2. So we are about to go ahead and get started. And this is the first part of the show. This is most people's favorite part of the show because this is where most people, you hear a lot about highlights. You go to Sports Center Top 10, you see all the highlights and everything, but you don't really see the lowlights. I think every Friday or something like that, they have the not so top 10. So there's no top 10, no not so top 10 here. We just got some people that deserve to be put in the doghouse. And to be put in the doghouse, you got to do something that's not good. To be a dog in the yard, you got to do something that's exceptional, something that's great. And, we got a dishonorable mention and an honorable mention, which means if you didn't make the cut, I'm going to just put you there. So, Mikey, you put in a special request from some F1 racing. There were 3 players that were 3 drivers. Drivers. I'm still getting used to the language. So 3 drivers that were disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix. It was Charles Leclerc. I could be saying that wrong.
You say Leclerc.
Lewis Hamilton, and Pierre Gasly.
Yep.
Mikey, what's your issue with this, man? Let them know why you are putting Ferrari F1 in the doghouse, mainly their engineering.
Ferrari F1. All right. These guys are getting put in the doghouse this week because it seems like this is actually a reality. Time and time again, they're doing, good things. They're making great strides, taking 2 steps forward, and then some stupid decision they're making or calculations they're making with the cars or to pit crew, whatever in the past. This dates back to even before, Hamilton was on the team. It was Sainz and Leclerc last year, if in the years previous, if you guys recall. They make these mistakes that cost that they should not be making. Like this past race, the Chinese Grand Prix, there's no reason why these two capable drivers, championship caliber drivers in constructors, should be disqualified from the race. That is inexcusable. You have these techs, their job is to drive, right? They give the feedback to these techs, to these, people who are doing the numbers, people who are, putting the tech with the car, with the arrow, with everything, so they can drive how, it's just them and they can drive their fastest.
All right.
People are over calculating and, or under calculating, whichever way you want to put it, the tech with these cars. Now, for Hamilton, it was the skid block for the rear. They had a breach on too thin, or was it too thick? I think it was either or. It wasn't the right criteria.
I think from what I saw, it said it was too thin. It wasn't.
Yes. So, and then Charles Leclerc dealt with the same thing where it was like he had to wait. He was underweight too. Now, that goes on those guys. They should be taking care of this and being at the right regulation, be sure that they're at the right regulations and rules and following all of that before the race even happens, so we don't have these issues. Now these guys are disqualified. They're not in the points. They were 5 and 6. That was good for them. And it's unfortunate. It's very disappointing because I'm a Hamilton guy. I like Hamilton. Obviously Lando. Lando did his with Piastri again. P1. Congrats to those guys. McLaren. But looking at Hamilton, I'm like, you guys bring this guy known for winning to this team, and now you have these inexcusable mishaps happening. Why?
I wish I could give you the answer, Mikey, because I don't know. I don't understand it either. These guys get paid to pretty much make sure that they're set, make sure that they got everything right. They're the analytics of if you think of they're the analytics part of the F1 driving. They're supposed to make sure all the numbers and everything is good. Yeah. So if you're relying on the analytics, you gotta get it together. I shouldn't be having to come in here and I'm getting disqualified for something you messed up.
Exactly.
So,
and I remember we had talked about that. You were like, well, shouldn't the engineers get the penalty? They get the fine? And it's like, it doesn't work like that in this sport. It's a team thing. So if these guys mess up, everybody pays the price. The races that don't work, the time, in the sprint, Hamilton was P1. Obviously he didn't have too good of a quali, and then back down. But, he worked his way back into it. And just to be disqualified, and come on, man.
Yeah, it's almost like
I had mentioned.
It's almost like it's a waste of sprint, because Lewis originally won the Shanghai Sprint over Max. So it's like all the effort was there put for nothing.
Exactly. And even Leclerc had a winglet. I don't know if you saw the race, but he had a broken winglet the whole race, and he had pace. He was racing. He was racing his tail off. He had even, he got. And that's another thing I want to get into with Ferrari and why he should be in the doghouse this week, because Leclerc had pace with Hamilton and he was following him so closely. He could have passed him, but we're like, oh yeah, just give Leclerc the position, right? And then even Leclerc was like, why? We have a pace. What are you guys doing? Like, that's unfortunate. Now Hamilton's back here. He's fighting whatever. You got Max catching up over. They both have the same age on their tires, both on hards. They made Hamilton pit in while Max stayed out. They did a 2-pit They did a two pit.
Mikey, I don't know if you want to go this route, but I might got a theory. Mikey. I don't know. I think they're trying to do whatever they can to make sure Max is in position to win. I don't know. I
mean,
but
it's been Max's time the past few years. You know, hats off to him. He's a hell of a driver. I'm not a fan for him. I have my various reasons. But you know, it's time. Even, you know, my friends that I know, I'm talking to them and they want to see, even the Max Verstappen fans, some of them, they want to see something new. They're voting for somebody who want to Lando do it. They want to see, you know what I'm saying? And or Hamilton do it again, you know, now that he's in red.
Yeah, and that happens in sports all the time. It just happened with the Chiefs this year. People were tired of seeing them win. They was like, look, we need somebody else to win. It happened in basketball. Exactly. Happened in basketball with the Lakers back in the day. It was like, all right, we need somebody else to win. It happens with the Warriors, with Steph,
Warriors.
People was like, all right, man, we need somebody else to win. So, you know, it's the same thing, man. So they just tired of seeing the same people win. You got to give people another chance to win.
Yeah, I agree. And you want to see, you know, somebody, you want to see more competition. And with the grid shaking up this year with all these rookies and everything, it seems like it's been more, you know, it's more entertaining and more fun to watch than just watching a Max show. Because nobody wants to sit here and watch the Max show. What's it been like 2, 3 years now, 4 years, whatever. Nobody wants to see it in another year. So we want to, you know, level out the playing field and, you know, see what these great drivers have to offer and see, you know, where they take it in constructors and who can actually become the constructor champion this year.
Reminds me a little bit of Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. I remember he used to win a lot, and people were like, all right, come on. We need somebody else to win.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
I guess somebody else a chance.
Yep. That's my take on it. Until Ferrari as a whole, as a team, until they get it together, you gotta be in the doghouse. And I know it's only the second race. But there's no excuses. They were making careless mistakes last year too when Sainz was there, you know. And now that he's with Williams, you know, you got Hamilton that's even more capable of, you know, and Sainz is a great driver. I'm not taking away from Sainz, but you got Hamilton, you know, championship caliber, obviously driver, has many championships under his belt, and you know, you can't be making mistakes like that, man. It's there's no excuse.
Hey, look, y'all heard it from Mikey, man. He said even though it's a second race, this is something that was glaring last year, and it's happening again now. So Ferrari's engineering team, just to let you know, it's not my choice to put you in here, but I'm an honor one of my subscribers. I'm gonna honor one of my guys. He said that you guys are not doing your job. So guess what? You know where you're going. You get the call that everyone else gets. Welcome to the doghouse.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
And Mikey, I know you said that this is, you know, you only wanted to come in here for this. So go ahead, you know, give them your last words. You know, thank you again for coming on for the first time. Do your thing, Mikey.
I appreciate you having me again, Dave. You know, hopefully they can get it together. I want to shout out to my people, you know, my family first and foremost. You know, the man above, God. Without none of this is possible.
Absolutely.
You know, that's really all I got. Is shout outs to the R2L network, man.
Hey,
shout outs to my brand Halo Gifts. Shout outs to my brand Halo Gifts. Check me out at halo.com, at Halo Gifts on IG. Or if you want to tap in with me on my personal IG, Mikey EJ8, letter E, letter J, and the number 8. That's really all I got, man.
Hey,
thank you for having me again, bro.
Nope. Hey, thank you for coming on, man. Make sure y'all go follow my guy on Instagram. Go get some of his apparel from Halo Gifts. Trust me, I got his and hers hoodie, and me and my lady wear it often. So trust me, you want to get some really cool stuff, go to Halo Gifts on IG.
Appreciate you, my guy.
No, appreciate you, my guy. See you next time. And go have fun with the fellas. Tell everybody I said what's up.
Of course, bro. We gotta get you. Pull up one of these days, man.
Sooner or later. Just remember, I'm in Jersey. I'm a couple hours away.
Yeah.
But all right, man.
I know.
Enjoy your time, man.
Thanks, bro.
All right, y'all. Thank you for Mikey for coming on for the first time. Now we gotta keep the show on the road. Next, man, there has been. This isn't the first time that a college team has been put into the doghouse, especially knowing where they started out in the beginning of the season. This team was a preseason number one. This is not the first time they've missed the tournament, or well, not missed the tournament, but lost in the first round of the tournament. But I have to do this, even though the coach is legendary, even though they won some pretty good games this season. They didn't really finish the season pretty well. So the team that I'm putting in the doghouse for this week in college basketball is Kansas University. Kansas was ranked number one overall in the preseason this year. This was the first time since the 2020-21 season that Kansas became unranked. They had an 80-week AP poll streak snapped because they went on a 3-game losing streak. And even though they won a game after that, they lost another game right afterwards. They lost 79-72 in the first round to Arkansas. Yep, you heard Arkansas. Arkansas in the tournament. They're actually in the Sweet 16 right now. They, coached by Coach Cal, beat Kansas. This was also the lowest rank in tourney history for Kansas since the year 2000. That's 25 years ago. So it's been that long since Kansas has not really been that good. I don't know what's going on with Kansas right now. Maybe they need to get some kind of recruiting back together. I don't know. Not sure. Maybe they need to hit the portal, see if they can get some guys out of there. I know the guy from Xavier just hit the portal today. There's another guy in Indiana that hit the portal as well. So you got some guys that's going in there, that's going in the portal. There's another guy from Wake Forest, but I don't know if he would be a game changer. But Bill Self, it's some things you got to change in Kansas, my guy. I'm not absolutely sure what else it is that you need to do to get Kansas back to where they need to be, but this wasn't the season for you. And this is not the first time this happened in college basketball, like I said, because it also happened when you did the same thing. Well, not you, but when North Carolina did it just a couple seasons ago. Preseason number one overall, became unranked, but actually it was actually worse for UNC. They missed the tourney entirely and declined the NIT. So I mean, I don't. Kansas, you're one of the Bluebirds in college basketball. The Blue Bloods, sorry, not Bluebirds, but Blue Bloods in college basketball. You got Duke in there, you got North Carolina, you got Kansas, and Kentucky is one of them as well. Kansas and North Carolina are the two that aren't in the Sweet 16. Kentucky is in there. So is Duke. And you can't forget about Tom Izzo and Michigan State. Can't forget about that. Because you hear January, February, Izzo. That's what it's always been known as. But Kansas, you just not looking good. So this is where you belong. You belong in the doghouse, Kansas. Until you get back to where you need to be, this is kind of sort of where you're going to be at for the moment. You got to next season. Let's see what you do in the portal. Let's see where you ranked on the preseason. You shouldn't be preseason ranked number one overall, but who knows how that's going to work out for you. But you got to get some key wins. I mean, you had a key win against Duke earlier this year. I do understand that it was early in the season, but it still counts. But the rest after that, it went downhill for you. So, Kansas, welcome to the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse. Sorry, Kansas. All right, so now we're gonna go to Ohio. This team most recently won their last game. So I already know I'm going to get some questions about this. They are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference right now, if not the best team. But there's still some people that have questions about that. Can they really win it all? Can they really compete in the Eastern Conference? Are they going to be able to close the deal? You know, that backcourt had questions last season. Can they really work together? Is it better if you trade one or the other? Fired their head coach. He's now the head coach for the Detroit Pistons. Yes, I'm saying it. Even though they're the only team that has 3 10-plus win streaks of the season this year, I got to put the Cleveland Cavaliers in the doghouse. I get it. I'm going to get some flack. Dude, don't matter. Don't matter. This was after they were on a 16-game win streak. So they've had 3 win streaks of at least 15 plus. But after this win streak was snapped by the Orlando Magic, they lost 2 games right after that. Well, 3 games right after that. So they lost 4 straight games, won their very last game. Like I said, I understand that. And if you look at 2 of the teams they lost to, 2 of these teams, well, one is now kind of sort of in the playoff race, but they weren't necessarily there, especially not last month. I mean, the Phoenix Suns were 2-10 in the month of February. They were bad. They're in the doghouse themselves. And you lost to that team. Also, the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they lost De'Aaron Fox. I mean, when they traded away De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio, he paired with Wembanyama. Now he's out for the rest of the year. So is Wemby. They went and got Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is back on the same team with DeMar DeRozan. But the Suns haven't been one of the best teams in the Western Conference itself. And that's another team that you lost to. Like I said, you lost to Orlando Magic, and I get it. That's a team that's in the playoff race, you know. But again, they are also in the play-in. They're not a top 5 seed. They're not a top 4 seed, and that's a team that you just couldn't handle. I don't know. Maybe the questioning is valid. Because you guys were one of the top seeds last year in the playoffs. You were a top 3 seed. Or top 5, top 4, top 5 seed. And you got past the first round, but that was it. And I understand it. Spider wasn't necessarily available. Jared Allen wasn't available. I get it. But you're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference right now. And you had lost 4 straight. Boston is right behind you. They still have an opportunity to come and catch the number 1 seed. I know you want home court advantage, but don't let this one win you got be the only win you get during this week. You got to make sure you close it out. If you're going to be putting that upper echelon of teams that can compete for a title this year, there are just some things you got to carry. You have a guy like Evan Mobley, who's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. You got Donovan Mitchell. You got Darius Garland. You went and traded for DeAndre Hunter. You made some moves to put yourselves in position to win a championship this year. But are you going to do it? That's the question. Can you do it? Can you compete against the Celtics? Is that regular season record against the Knicks just a regular season record? Can you beat the Pacers? Can you beat the Pistons in the playoffs? I mean, you should be able to. That's a team that, just, is just now being put in the playoff seed. It's the first time they've been in the playoffs in a good little while. It's just the bubble. So, I mean, what's next? You got rid of your head coach, JB Biggerstaff. You got a new head coach in there now. So it's time to prove it. But Like I said, you lost 4 of your last 5 games. So this is where you go. Cavaliers, you're in the doghouse.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
And that right there was all of those that are in the doghouse for this week. And as I said, I do have an honorable mention that I definitely want to mention as well. Honorable mention. He actually plays for the same team that for someone that I put as a dog just recently. Kobe White. Kobe White is an honorable mention for this week. Kobe White just won back-to-back Eastern Conference Players of the Week. Over the last 4 games, which is the last week that he's played, he averaged 30.3 points per game, 4 assists per game. He was 3-1 in that stretch. Against the Lakers on Saturday, your boy Kobe White put up 36 points. He was 12 of 17 from the field and 6 of 9 from 3. Kobe White has been amazing. He has been scoring at will, no matter who he playing against, no matter what you do. Him and Josh Giddey together have been a nice little tandem in that backcourt. Zach LaVine is no longer there taking all the shots. You got these 2 guys pretty much as the tandem, and they seem to be playing very well together. So I mean, they're right back in there in the play-in tournament, just like they have been for the last few seasons. So they're not one of the top 6 teams in the East. They're not, they're not considered a huge threat, but this is what he's also done in March. In the month of March so far, he's averaged 29 points per game. He's shooting 50, 35, 89 splits, 50% from the field, 35% from 3, 89% from the free throw line. Really good numbers. Almost a 50, 40, 90. And his true shooting percentage, 63%. His team went 7-4, or are 7-4 so far in March. That means they started out 4-3 and then won 3 of the last 4 games. So they're starting to play a lot better as of late. So who knows how dangerous they can be? That's another question for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got a Chicago Bulls team that is in position to be in the playing tournament, and if they win that 8 seed, that's who you play in the first round. If you're the 1 seed, are you going to be well enough to be able to beat them? It's the Chicago Bulls. You should be able to. I get it's the NBA professional team, but you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. You've been number 1 in the Eastern Conference for a good amount of time now. So what you gonna do? Don't know. But till then, honorable mention, Kobe White. By the way, he's 4th in scoring in the month of March. So you got that going for you as well. All right, y'all. Dogs of the week. I'm going to start this one off with someone who my guy Carl said was the best player on the team, was the second best player on the team last year. We had a minor disagreement. I believe it was another guy who's now in the NBA. He plays for a team that's also in the doghouse, whose front office is in the doghouse, who has a player in the doghouse as well. Whose fan was just here in the last episode with me. Jerry McCain. Jerry McCain was, the guy who I believe was better than this guy last season in college for Duke. But this guy right now is playing his best basketball that he's played all season long. And that person is Tyrese Proctor. Tyrese Proctor for Duke University. In the last game, in the round of 32 against Baylor, Tyrese Proctor shot a career high 25. He scored a career high 25 points in that game and shot a career high 7 of 8 from 3-pointers. That is the second most 3-pointers made in Duke history. Jerry McCain has the most when he shot 8 last year against James Madison University. In the 2 tourney games so far, Tyrese Proctor has scored 44 points, and he is 13 of 16 from 3-point range so far in the tourney. This is where games get, they get harder. That's 81% from the field, y'all. 81% from the field from 3. That's not easy. I get it. It's just 2 games, but it's a tourney. It's the tournament. And he shot 16 threes and he's made 13 of them. Just saying. That is the most 3-point field goals made through 2 games in Duke history, by the way. So it's not just that. That's the most any Duke player has made in 2 games in tourney history. He has the most 3 points made in a 3-game span. And that's since Jason Williams did it in 2001. We all know how good Jason Williams was with Duke. The team on Sunday was 12 of 22 from the 3-point line, which is almost 55% from 3. 17 of 23 from the 2-point. So, that's 74%. And 19 of 23 from the free throw line. That is 83% from the free throw line. So, as a team, the team shot 55, 74, and 83 splits. That is a heck of a thing to do in the tournament. And to do it now in March, it's a huge deal. Tyrese Proctor is playing the best basketball of his life right now. And I believe that's going to continue. He is making a case to be the, tourney MVP if Duke goes all the way. Now, Duke is right now the favorite to go all the way and win it all. It doesn't always work out that way. But Duke is also the only team in college basketball that's top 5 in offensive rating and top 5 in defensive rating. It's the only team in college basketball that's like that right now. All the teams that have done that have normally gone on to win the title. So, you may think that it may not be something, but it's something. So, just so you know, Tyrese Proctor, you are a dog. This player here is not even from the United States, but plays an American game so smooth. It's almost like everything to him is effortless. He has great footwork. He is one of the best mid-range shooters in the game, one of the best drivers in the game. He's a really good defender. And he plays on the best team in the Western Conference right now. I know I've talked about him already before, but he just keeps getting hot. He keeps getting hot, and he, to me, is clearly the MVP for the NBA this season, and that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, or as my guy Joe likes to say, Sega. SGA is top 10 in transition field goal percentage right now. He has 9 consecutive 30-point games against top 5 teams in the NBA. Now, I know that there are some people that like to talk about what he does as far as his points per game and his free throws. Well, when we talk about his free throws, y'all, you know that he's shooting less free throws than 3 of Michael Jordan's MVP seasons, than all of LeBron's MVP seasons, Harden's MVP season, Russell Westbrook's MVP season, Kevin Durant, uh, whatever MVP you want to name. I think the only MVP he hasn't shot less free throws than is Steph Curry. But you can name Magic, doesn't matter. Whatever MVP you want to name, he's Joel Embiid, Jokic. It don't matter. He's not shooting the same amount of free throws that they are. And guess what? League leader in points this season, SGA. League leader in points through 3 quarters, SGA. Most 50-point games, SGA. Most 40-point games, SGA. Most 30-point games, SGA. Most 31-point games, SGA. He's shooting 32.9 points per game this season, basically 33 points per game this season. That's with free throws. Without free throws, he's scoring 25 points per game, and he still leads the league in scoring. If we take away free throws from everybody, he still leads the league in scoring. It doesn't matter. He's the only player top 5 in offense and defensive rating. The only player in the NBA. No one else is top 5 in both. That shows you how good he is offensively and how good he is defensively. He has 12 games where he scored over 40 points per game. He has only 7 games where he shot under 25 points. Only 7. If that doesn't tell you how good he is, I don't know what to tell you. SGA, to me, is the MVP of the league so far this year. I don't think anyone else other than Jokic is close to him in the MVP race. And I even still think that even though Jokic is having a phenomenal season, SGA is just having a better season. It just happens that way. It just happens. He's a part of a team that's just one of the best teams in the NBA, if not the best team in the NBA. They're the only team to have already clinched. They clinched the number 1 spot already in the West. They can rest. SGA is a dog, man. Welcome again, SGA. Now, this player I have yet to talk about yet. But he definitely deserves his just due. There's been for anyone that's in the NBA chat, anyone that's a part of the chats at all, there's been some back and forth kind of sort of with me and Carl about this player and Tyler Hero. Now, some of you may know exactly who I'm talking about. For those who don't know, this guy went to the University of Oklahoma, and he had an interesting story about him getting to LA. So he had some teams that were interested in drafting him, but he told them no, he doesn't want to be drafted. He had a plan to go play with the Lakers. And that plan worked out. Now, and Lakers weren't even number 1 on his list. I believe Milwaukee was number 1 on his list, and then it was the Lakers. He said this himself, by the way. Now, over the last 5 to 9 games, he's been balling. I mean, he's known as a baller. Don't get me wrong. He's tough. He is tough. Some people even say he could be the best third guy on any team. I don't think that's ever been a conversation, but it seems to happen now. Austin Reeves is a dog. Yes. Austin Reeves, for the season, is averaging about 20 points per game. Not huge, not wild numbers, of course. But he is the third guy on the team. That normally doesn't happen for players that play with LeBron James, but it's a little different this season. He got Luka that's pretty much taking charge of the ball now. Now that he's there. So some things have changed over a little bit. Over the last 9 games, he's averaged 23, 6, and 6 over the last 9 games. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging almost 29 points per game. Over the last 9. Austin Reeves, yes. He has scored over 22 points over the last 6 games the Lakers have played. He's the third best player on the Lakers, and he kind of has been for some time now. Even when Anthony Davis was there, it was pretty much Bron, AD, and Austin Reeves. Some people were talking about D'Angelo Russell, but D'Angelo Russell was a little too. He wasn't consistent enough. He's not the type of player to play alongside LeBron. He's playing a lot. He's playing much better now that he's in Brooklyn. Even though he's missing games, but that's kind of sort of where he belongs. Also, for the season, Austin Reeves is shooting 45% from the field, 36.5% from three-pointer, and a 60.4 true shooting percentage. Austin Reeves is a baller, man. He's one of the best young players in the league. Of course, he's not a superstar or nothing like that. Some might not even consider him a star, but I think you can kind of sort of put him in that. At least a star role player, you can put him in that. That conversation hasn't necessarily been talked about, honestly, but I can see where some people may say that. And he's on the Lakers. He's had some big opportunities with LeBron not being there. In some games, he has an injury he needed to get over, and he put up 45 points in one of those games. I mean, he a baller, man. He put up 25, 22, 30, 28, 37 in those games, man. That's what he did. That is what Austin Reeves did. And this is why he's on this list. Austin Reeves is a dog and one of the baddest guys in the league. So, Austin Reeves, you're a dog, man. All right, down to 2. This next one, second to last. I already talked about their best player. They have an opportunity to go do something they haven't done. And that's go win a title. They've already clinched a number 1 seed. And even though the regular season's still going on, you still got to talk about what they're doing. Oklahoma City Thunder. The Dogs. The Thunder, y'all. Clinched the number 1 seed just 4 days ago. They are the youngest team to clinch it again. Because they did it last year. Back-to-back seasons, they have become the youngest team to clinch the number 1 seed. Back-to-back seasons. Their offensive rating is 3rd in the NBA, 120.2. Offensive efficiency, number 1 in the NBA, 119.9. They're outscoring opponents by the most in the league by 12.6 points per game. So they're winning each game by double digits. The only other team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers is the only other team winning consistently by double digits. They also have the number 1 defensive rating team in the NBA. 106.2. Number 1. They're also number 1 in net rating in the NBA. 12.9. And they're top 10 in these last 3 categories. They're top 3 in effective field goal percentage, which means they're taking smart shots. They're number 7 there. They're number 6 in true shooting percentage. Also lets you know that they're taking smart shots and they're making their shots. And they're 8th in pace. So they're not the quickest team. They're not the slowest team. But they're top 10 in pace. Which means they set the pace on themselves. If they want to go fast break, they go fast break. If they can do half court. Doesn't matter what it is, they can run any kind of offense. And I already talked about SGA. But let's talk about another player on this team who actually has been playing pretty well. And that's Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams has also played very well this season. Jalen Williams, over his last 8 games, has averaged 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, shooting 49, 40, 85 splits, 61% true shooting percentage, and plus 85 plus minus. The Thunder, to me, are just the best team in the league, and I can understand why they're considered the favorite to win it all this year. I get it. No one should be the favorite other than the Boston, because the Boston is the number 2 seed, and they won the title last year. But the Thunder swept them this year. I can only go off of what I've seen. They swept them, and SGA had no problem getting buckets on anybody. If you watch the R2L, I told you, when Jaylen Brown was on him, he cooked him. When Tatum was on him, he cooked him. If Drew Holiday was on him, I'm pretty sure he would have cooked him too. He put Peyton Pritchard on him, and he got cooked. Look, y'all. Thunder, they dogs. They already said it themselves, so they're probably used to this sound. So I'm going to play it again. Welcome to the Dogs. And now we go to the very last one. The big dog of the week. The big dog of the week this time around is going to be the one team that I have been high on for the last 2 seasons. They are one of the youngest teams in the NBA, one of the youngest teams in the Western Conference, at least by if you look at their stars. When it's on, Fred VanVleet, got Dylan Brooks, you got Jalen Green, you got Alfred Sengun, you got Amen Thompson. You have some really good players on this team. He just got back from injury. The Houston Rockets are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference right now. They had fell down and then got right back up. Y'all remember that D-Wade commercial, fall down 7, get up 8? Just saying. They regained the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. They're number 3 in defensive rating, so they're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Not necessarily one of the best offensive teams, but one of the best defensive teams. Defense can help you win championships. Not saying they're going to win a championship, but I'm just saying they have something there that can help them get there. And they have a coach who's gotten to the finals. So they got something. They got something. They're 5th in net rating. 5th in opponent's points per game. Number 1 in rebounds per game. And you know what? You know who is leading the league in rebound percentage? Or offensive rebound percentage, I should say. And a lot of people probably wouldn't have even guessed it. But Steven Adams. Steven Adams is leading the NBA in offensive rebound percentage. And he has the highest percentage of all time. 22 and a half. That's more than what Dennis Rodman did in the 94-95 season when the Bulls won the title. When his offensive rebound percentage, well, that wasn't the Bulls, that was with the Spurs, sorry. When he averaged 20.8 percentage on offensive rebounds. And Andre Drummond, just a season ago, was at 21.5. And Steven Adams, you don't even hear a lot about him. but he's still contributing on one of the youngest teams in the NBA and one of the youngest teams in the Western Conference. And who's at the number 2 seed? Jalen Green has been talked about on here. So is Alfred Sengun. Amin Thompson has done his thing as well. Like I said, you got Fred VanVleet, you got Cam Whitmore. You have some other guys that's on this team that can help contribute to help them win games. Even Terrence Eason. Maybe it's time for him to come out there. I don't know. But gotta give them when their justice due. So the Houston Rockets are the dogs of the week. They're the big dogs. Congratulations. Enjoy your time. That is it for my show today. Make sure you tune into CTC, who will be going live later on tonight to talk about the NIT. My guy Carl will be going live, so make sure you tune in. Of course, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Mikey, again for coming on the show and putting Ferrari F1's engineering team in the doghouse. Y'all gotta get it together, man. Let's see who makes it this week. Who do you guys think should be a dog? Who do you think should be in the doghouse? Who should be the big dog? Do you have an honorable mention? Do you have a dishonorable mention? You gotta let me know. But don't leave. Don't leave until you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that notification button as well. So when I go live, you'll know. When I upload new videos, you'll know. When I upload some more shorts, you'll know. When I have a guest coming on, you'll know. Also, there's a link in the bio. We have Instagram chats. So make sure if you want to get more sports news or you want to be a part of a sports family, you want to be a part of something that's going to be game changing. Become a member of the R2L. You don't know what you're missing. And you can say, hey, Dave, am I really missing that? I got the ESPN app. I got Bleacher Report. Hey, there's some other sports that they don't talk about a lot. But we talk about it here. We talk about it on Instagram. This is what this platform is for. So if you want to be a part of something big, you want to be a part of something that's game changing, be a part of R2L. See you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.